More details in the Wayne County jail mess that has taxpayers furious. Plus, are you ready to pay a bigger sales tax for better roads? Also tonight, Kevyn apologizes, and look who's back in Troy. MiWeek starts right now.
Michigan's turnaround is being powered by things we do better than anywhere else in the world. Today's global leaders routinely turn to Michigan to work on their most difficult problems. That's because the engineering talent in this part of the world is simply the best. So many possibilities lie ahead for Michigan's future. These opportunities are here and starting to happen. The vision for the new Michigan. Share it, talk it up, drive it home. Funding is also provided by Delta.
Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us for MiWeek tonight. I'm Christy McDonald. Wayne County taxpayers have got to be screaming mad over new details in the bungled new jail project, and now the Wayne County prosecutor is investigating. Not only did the project management company not make changes to the project to get it at the $220 million budget, they went ahead and spent $42 million on more changes, according to a new report, that were never approved by the Wayne County Building Authority, and they're the ones who are supposed to have the final say. And the project, which was originally supposed to cost close to $300 million, is now pushing $400 million. Construction has stopped, and now the state has stepped in and offered to help the county move jail facilities to another site. We are going to start here tonight with our contributors, Nolan Finley from the Detroit News and Stephen Henderson from the Detroit Free Press. Gentlemen, yes, as we've said before, this is a bit of a mess, and it just keeps changing.
This is a major scandal, and somebody, Bob Fagano, needs to be held accountable for it. He wasted $120 million of the taxpayers' money on this poorly planned, poorly thought out project and poorly managed project. Nobody was in charge. How could he let a project of this scope go forward and nobody overseeing the costs, nobody overseeing construction? How do you run up $120 million in cost overruns?
I mean, so if you're a taxpayer sitting at home and seeing that the county's already having money trouble and then that amount of money has been wasted, what's running through your head?
Well, I mean, I think you got to say who's in charge, and maybe we need somebody else to run the county. I mean, the thing about this jail is that nobody ever steps up and says, hey, you know what? This is my fault, or this was my responsibility. You got Benny Napoleon, the sheriff, saying, hey, you know, I just run the jail. I don't have anything to do with the development of it. You have Fagano saying, well, I wasn't in charge. So who is the person who's supposed to manage this stuff? It's really a little infuriating.
And 2 years ago, when this project first started, before a brick was ever laid, the state said, look, we've got this empty Mound Road facility. Can we work with you to see if that will work as a criminal justice facility for the county? The city moved its lockup out there, and the state wanted to see all of the courts and jails in that location to free up a pretty significant chunk of your central business district for more appropriate development. And Fagano said, no thanks. And he went ahead with this major league-wide elephant. Turkia Mullins was in it from the beginning, planning, in charge of development at that time. This thing, I mean, I'm glad Kim Worthy's investigating, because this thing stinks to high heaven.
All right, so yeah, that's what I want to talk about, the investigation.
The Mound Road thing is problematic. I mean, the Mound Road location makes sense from the city's perspective, because you don't want that giant jail, you know, just as people get off the freeway to go to Ford Field.
Yeah, it's not one of those things that it's a selling point to the city.
No, it's not a great spot. At the same time, the purpose of building the new jail was to consolidate all of the Wayne County holding facilities in one place, and you need a place that has really great freeway access to do that with any efficiency. And so
because you have a lot of transport, you have a lot of transport
from downriver, from Dearborn, all these other places where they arrest people. They're going to take them to that jail instead of holding them where they are. Mound Road doesn't really work for that, and so that was one of the reasons they said no.
Yeah, but as it turns out, Steve, they were going to close those other lockups you were talking about.
Yeah.
Now
they won't.
Now they can't, because the new jail, they had to downscale it to the point where it was too small.
Right.
So this thing was never going to work downtown. Yeah. The transportation issues are minor compared to the problems this new jail causes.
They actually are not minor. The amount of money that local courts spend on transporting prisoners is usually one of the top 5 or 6 line items in their budgets. That's a big deal, and getting that off their books was a huge goal of this jail. And I agree, this whole thing downtown, this didn't work, and it wasn't managed right, and it wasn't going to accomplish what they wanted to do. But Mound Road is not the solution to those problems, and that may be a reason that that's not a great spot.
But that's where it's going. I mean,
yeah, well, that's what.
I mean, that's where. So
make it work.
that's, and the state is saying that we'll lease it to you for $1 so you can make it work. You said the state though came to them beforehand and said before this even started that you could do that. But Wayne County had the money for the new jail, correct? At that point,
they sold bonds. They sold $300 million in bonds. The jail itself was supposed to. $325. Jail itself was supposed to cost $225, and there was going to be $80 million for outfitting it and training and getting the technology in. That money just got blew by a long time ago, and they still don't have enough money to complete a jail. I mean, you could have built a stadium for what they're spending on this jail.
And that's what I think it's hard to wrap your head around, because I think everyone's done a home improvement project where you have a budget for something and you get it done, and you don't have a contractor that goes and buys $40 million extra tile for your bathroom without getting the approval for it.
If you do, you fire him. And
exactly.
And that's what needs to happen in this case. And we keep hearing Bob Ficano's going to run again. That would be probably the most disastrous political decision ever made in this county if he ran again.
All right, before we get into the politics of where this takes Bob Ficano, I want to back up and talk about the investigation that Kim Worthy now has launched into this. What possibly can she do with her office, and what do you think she's looking into now, Stephen?
No, I'm not sure, but I mean, I think the contracts here are where the suspect activity is, if it is suspect. I mean, people made money off of this deal, and it turns out it was for nothing. And so, who were the people who made that money? What were the agreements that led to the contracts that those people got? I mean, this is Wayne County, Southeast Michigan. No surprise on anyone's part if there's all kinds of pay-to-play stuff going on here. That's how we do stuff.
But oh gosh,
they overpaid.
I hate that answer.
Yeah,
you know?
they overpaid for the land in the first place. They paid more than it was worth in the first place. They paid a Ficano crony, former deputy county executive Charlie Williams, $400 and some thousand to attend a couple of meetings from the
as a developer, but not anyone who had any money in the deal.
No,
he just was the hookup between these two things.
People have been grabbing money out of this project from the beginning. I think that's what Worthy and I believe Barbara McQuaid, the federal prosecutor, will be taking a look at. I mean, when you overspend to that degree and have a failed project, it raises all sorts of red flags.
And isn't this project one of the reasons why they got downgraded as well? Wayne County did recently.
Well, sure. I mean, I think this kind of debt, you know, it's $100 million that you've blown, right? That you're going to have to pay back over 30 years as you agreed to, and you got nothing to show for it.
But not the first money he's blown on developments. $35 million squandered on the Pinnacle race course. He built a racetrack, a thoroughbred racing track, with county money at a time when the thoroughbred racing industry was collapsing all over the country. $35 million over budget. Again, Turkia Mullen and Bob Ficano working together on the Guardian building. That's over $200 million to the bad if you're a Wayne County taxpayer, plus the operating budget deficit is still not solved.
Wayne County is a real candidate for emergency management, has been for a while. You know, I think stuff like this doesn't inspire a lot of confidence at the state level that they're working their problems out.
And if Detroit weren't under emergency management, Wayne County would be. I think the governor's reluctant to put them both in at the same time.
Okay, so let's talk about Bob Ficano, the Wayne County executive. He still does have plans to run again?
He says. I mean, he can't raise any money. His fundraisers are going terrible. Losing union support. I don't know where his base of support comes from. The only chance he'd have is if he crowds up the primary to the point where he walks away and wins the nomination with 15–20% of the vote.
It's got to be a really uphill battle for him, given everything that candidates could pile on him.
Yeah, but you know, again, this is Southeast Michigan. Anything can happen in electoral politics, and it will. So I wouldn't count him out. You know, it really depends on what the field looks like. It depends on where he is at that point. People have short memories. I wouldn't say that it's a done deal that he can't win.
And I think if the Republicans were smart, they'd be looking at the Democratic field, and if there's a chance that Bob Ficano is going to come out of that primary, they should have a primary.
They would have a better shot than they've had in probably 40, 50 years.
Yeah, credible primary candidate ready to go.
With millions and millions of dollars wasted, I don't think taxpayers should have a short memory, but we'll see what happens, and we'll keep following this.
We didn't even talk about the pensions.
I know, okay. Well, lawmakers are busy in Lansing, trying to figure out if there's enough support to raise the state sales tax to 7%, and that extra money will go to fix our notoriously bumpy roads. So there is a little work going on in Lansing right now, some conversations, but you think they're going to be able to get anything done in time to put something on the ballot by November?
I don't know, but I can't imagine Michigan motorists wouldn't vote to support that. You drive across the state line from Ohio to Michigan, you can close, you don't need that big welcome to Michigan sign. You can just feel it from your tires. You hit that I-75, as soon as you cross the road, you're like this. We have miserable roads, and we do need more funding for roads. We also need better construction practices and lower truck weights.
Yeah, I mean, we got to start paying for the roads, just like we got to start paying for schools, just like we got to start paying for.
Okay, but is the state sales tax the way to do it, as opposed to a fuel tax or anything else?
I'm more of a fan of user fees for roads, and I think that model works in a lot of states. I'm a big fan of toll roads too. I think that when you go to states like Ohio, the reason that I-75 through Ohio is so good is because they have the turnpike going east-west. All that money goes into all of the roads in that state. We can't do that as easily because we're not a pass-through state. But I'm not sure.
Ourselves as
I'm not sure why I-75 between Toledo and Port Huron is not.
Well, because it doesn't go to Port.
Well, I-75 doesn't go to, but 94, you would toll I-70.
We've just redone the math.
To Flint, and then
you really ought to
69.
get out of the city and take a drive.
I know where I'm going.
User fees are great, and I support a higher gas tax for this, except that it's a shrinking revenue pool, constantly shrinking revenue pool as gas mileage goes up and miles driven goes down. I think the 1 cent sales tax, if they accompany it with better practices on construction, and if they police truck weight so we're not constantly fixing the same roads, I think Michigan
the truck weight thing is for real. We have the highest permissible truck rate in the country, and if you go over that weight, you only pay 50 bucks. It's not a sensible system, and that's why the roads are in such bad shape.
Okay, so obviously everyone would agree that we need our roads fixed, but it's interesting and where you would put that list on the priority, because you touched on it a little bit about we need more money for roads. We need more money for schools. So are you going to get some pushback from people saying, well, if you're going to spend $1.2 billion on roads, well, why can't we take some of this sales tax increase and push it over towards education?
Well, I mean, I think again, the governor probably is going to have to pivot at some point to saying how much more money we need for how many different things. And you're not going to be able to do it all, right? I mean, people are not going to increase their taxes that significantly just to pay for everything. I mean, I think roads are a pretty good place to start, but we also have pre-K funding that needs money. We also have the funding for schools, which needs to be rejiggered somehow. So that
pay for Obamacare.
We got to pay for health care.
I mean,
God forbid we'd pay for health care.
Look, we are not I will say again, we are not undertaxed in this state. Education, we are one of the top spending education states in the nation.
Mid-spending.
And we get poor results. We need to spend the tax dollars we're sending to Lansing better. That we don't necessarily need more taxes for every program. We need to stop wasting so much.
Well, that's not an either or.
Organized government.
That's not a zero-sum equation. We need to spend better, and we need to be more efficient, but we also need more money for things that we've shorted over the last.
Yeah, what about a little bit of higher education?
Higher education, great place to start.
And it is a big place to start, but you go to tell a taxpayer whose income in this state has gone down 22% over a decade that, hey, we want you to pay more to support the universities, we want you to sacrifice, but we're not going to ask our professors to teach more than one class a semester for risk of offending them.
I think that's not.
Fix what's inefficient
but
first
again,
before you come to taxpayers.
But again, that's a zero-sum sort of either or that gets you sort of arguing in a circle and chasing your tail. Rather than saying let's do this or let's do this. Let's talk about how we fix all of it at the same time.
I'm for that.
And you know, this is one of the few states in the nation that spends more on prisons than on universities.
That's true.
So
and I'm
look at
all
our
for that,
results.
Steve, but
Right.
you always want the money first. And taxpayers
Sure I do.
are tired of saying, okay, here's the money, you take it, we'll trust you to fix what's
Well,
wrong. It never gets fixed.
I think also taxpayers are also tired about, let's have the conversation about how to fix it. And I think that there needs to start to be some implementation about this, because we've talked about this now for the last 2 years in terms of higher ed. All right, well, let's move on here tonight. On the Detroit front tonight, Emergency Manager Kevyn apologized for the dumb and lazy comment he made in an interview. Plus, Oakland County is threatening to opt out of the millage if the art from the DIA is sold as part of Detroit's bankruptcy proceedings. Let's talk first about Kevyn Orr's apology this week. Some people are now saying it was too late because it was like a week after the fact. Are you never going to please everyone?
You certainly aren't, and he should stop trying. He's not a politician. He's got a job to do. He should just shrug his shoulders and get back to work, and maybe, you know, again, take a little lower profile.
Did that comment need to be apologized for, Stephen?
Well, I mean, people took a lot of offense at it. You know, it was not artfully stated, although it was something he said in the editorial board at the Free Press with a slightly less edgy tone to it. He's been saying that for a long time. Not sure why everyone got exercised about it now, except that he said it at the Wall Street Journal editorial board, and it's sort of like, you know, I can talk about my brother in the house, but you know, if you talk about my brother out on the street corner, we're going to have a fight. So there's a little bit of that going on. You know, the truth is, the sum total of what he said, it's very hard to argue, and you know, and there's no point in arguing it, right? The truth is, he's here because of those things, and he's here to fix what we did not smartly or fastidiously fix ourselves. So why don't we focus on that instead of getting all worked up about what Kevyn Orr said?
A couple of things.
You know, Bill Johnson had a great blog on our website a week or two ago detailing the number of times in the past that the city was presented proposals to fix the pension system, to make adjustments that would keep us from this crisis point, and it was rejected every time. I'm not sure Kevyn Orr was all that wrong.
How's Kevyn Orr doing?
I think, you know, pretty soon we're going to have to start looking at his job and sort of bifurcating the job he's doing. In terms of restructuring the debt and getting us through the bankruptcy, I think, you know, he deserves high marks for that so far. The jury's still out on whether he can do what he's trying to do. There's some real big hurdles in front of him, but at least he has a plan. I think the reorganization of city government is going to be a much bigger challenge for him, and he's already struggling to bring in the right people, get them assigned to the right tasks, and start making real change. And that's, you know, I'm not saying that as a knock necessarily on him. I just think
I was just going to say that's a
it's
superhuman.
very
That's a
difficult.
superhuman job in terms of what he's trying to do with the debt, and then focusing on restructuring. I
Well,
mean,
talent attraction's tough, but I mean, if you look at, he brought in the new police chief, and I think it's hard to argue with the job
that
James
was a good.
Gregg's
That's a good.
doing. I think he's, you know, given the fact he's only been here since April,
It's only been
May.
6
I mean,
months.
he's not quite that long. I mean, he's off to a pretty good start. I think what you're going to see is a lot of pieces put in place, and then things happen, you know, all at once.
let me ask you real quick about Judge Gerald Rosen, who's now going to be the mediator in bankruptcy. What kind of impact is that going to have?
Well, I mean, I think number one, it brings more resources to this case. I mean, there's no question this is the biggest bankruptcy case to go through that courthouse or probably any other, at least on the Chapter 9 side. Steve Rhodes is a very good bankruptcy judge with a great reputation. He needs help. There's no way he's going to be able to handle this on his own. Jerry Rosen is also a very experienced judge, understands some of the issues, and will be able to mediate these things. The other key here, I think, for people is recognizing that, you know, Jerry Rosen, Steve Rhodes, these are members of this community. They understand these issues, not just from a legal perspective, but they get the community angle of it. They understand the personal side of it, and that's going to work, I think, to our benefit, just to have somebody there who gets that.
So I was going to say, is that a home field advantage, Nolan?
Well, they're invested in this community. They understand this community. They live here. They're going to live here long after this case is done. That doesn't mean they're not going to do what they're required to do under the law, but I think they bring perhaps a different view than a judge based out of Cincinnati might have.
What'd you think of the move this week in Oakland County, basically saying, hey, if any of the art is sold from the DIA in the bankruptcy proceedings, we're going to pull the millage?
Well, I don't think think it's helpful. I mean, you know, I understand that.
Is it understandable?
Well, they're just interpreting what the millage language said, which is that the museum has to abide by the Museum Association rules, which says you cannot sell art for money. I still think that this is a pretty premature conversation. I don't think anybody intends to sell the art, but you know, you've got to rationalize the asset. You've got to put some value on it and explain why you aren't going to sell art. And I think it would help, frankly, if the DIA were coming up with other kinds of revenue opportunities or thinking about those to try to put something else on the table so people stop talking about selling the art. But to have Oakland County sort of threaten that at this point is not really productive.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the DA and Kevyn has got to be allowed to work this out. There may be a rational, reasonable solution here that allows some asset sales without destroying the museum. And I don't think Oakland County needs to draw a hard line and say, if you sell Howdy Doody, we're done, we're out of it. You know, I think there may be a reasonable solution here, and everybody should wait and see what that's going to look like.
All right, and we'll be watching. You know, there's a weird political comeback story tonight. You may remember the ousted mayor of Troy, Janice Daniels. She made homophobic comments, called the city charter a whimsical document, and got recalled last November. She was actually on our show. Well, she's back, and she's running for city council in Troy. So, biggest political comeback story of the year. How do you get recalled as the mayor, tossed out of office, and then signed back up again to run for office in the city, the same Troy?
You know,
Culture of great second acts,
it's
right?
the Anthony Weiner syndrome. I think, you know, if you can do it, she can. Marion Barry, good Lord, there's
People don't go away, right?
So it's Anthony Weiner's the largest comeback, and then Janice Daniels. I don't know. I guess in a political sense, what would spur someone to do that after being so soundly?
Yeah, I don't know what's
I
going
mean,
through
she's
her
got
mind.
supporters in that community. She's probably being urged to run. Who knows? I mean, you're running for council. You don't need as broad a base as you do when you're running for mayor.
I think she ought to move to Detroit and run for council.
Well, you know.
Probably be council president.
I know Troy has now become a political hotbed of intrigue. All right, it's time now for headlines. Okay, so some of the other stories that caught our attention this week. The Woodward Dream Cruise. Right now, if you're watching the show right now, know that hundreds of thousands of people are lining Woodward Avenue for the single largest car event, I think.
This would be a good thing to do while you're not running up and down Woodward, isn't it? Avoiding the traffic.
Right.
Watching our show.
Watching our show.
This is a great event, and you know, I'm still a bit frustrated with this event. It's sort of grassroots, and that's the beauty of it, but these communities, it costs these communities money. You got 1 million people coming in to be part of this. How much? 50,000 cars coming in to roll up and down Woodward.
People from around the world, they ship their cars here so they can
major
participate.
Event. It should be Detroit's Mardi Gras. I've said that for years, and we don't
No
make,
beads.
We don't make any money off of it, and there's got to be a way to better organize this. To make it a revenue producer, to make sure the business community benefits instead of saying, oh my God, this is just a money loser for us. An event of this size and of this sort of color and excitement ought to be a revenue producer. It ought to be the equivalent of any other city's major festival.
Yeah, well, I mean, the problem is this started as this sort of
It was a fundraiser.
ad hoc thingy, you know, I mean, and it's grown into a major event, but it doesn't have major event planning and promotion and backing and government involvement. You know, I don't know that you ever worked that out, though, because if you ever talk to the folks who run this thing, they're very proprietary about this.
Yeah, and they have coalitions from the cities that are all up along.
They don't want to mess
make
with
some
it.
money. And Tony Michael's Parade Company has sort of taken over the running of it. They're slowly making progress. I think they're going to push this ahead. But it needs to be a regional event where for these 3, 4, 5 days, you've got things happening out here at the Greenfield Village, maybe downtown, you know, different car shows, clubs, celebrating our automotive history. And you know, not just this one day.
Yeah, it's crazy
traffic
not
jam.
to. It's crazy not to bring the energy that you see in downtown Detroit into the Dream Cruise somehow. I don't understand why.
All right, so maybe I'll see you guys cruising when I'm cruising with my minivan down Woodward. No minivans allowed on Woodward this weekend. And that's going to do it for My Week. Thanks so much for joining us. Check out MiWeek.org. Catch up on the shows or share the shows with your friends on Facebook and on Twitter. For all of us at Detroit Public TV, I'm Christy McDonald. Make sure you come back and see us next Friday for My Week. Take care. Have a great weekend.